I want to talk to you today about some of the features that you're going to put on your gargoyles. You know the requirements are a face and 4 limbs. The 4 limbs could be 2 legs in the front and 2 on the sides. It could be hands coming out of the side. It could be feet coming out of the bottom. It really could be even 8 legs for an octopus. The point is you need a face and 4 limbs so that it looks like a full creature and not, just part of the creature. So once you start, you're going to work from the top down. You're going to do ears, you're going to work on a nose. You can see some of these noses are not like the human noses that we did for the leaf. This one is very much like an animal-like nose. You might add things like eyebrows or a horn. This guy has wrinkles on his forehead. That was made with a snake of clay blended in to the base. He also has a lip, he has teeth, and we're going to talk about how to add those. Once you get to the mouth, you're going to draw the mouth on. If you like the way it looks, you're going to use your fettling knife or a needle tool or a wire loop to cut that through to the inside, kind of like a jack-o'-lantern. If you have a tooth, if you want to have a tooth, you can cut around that, or you can add a tooth after the fact. But you want it to be, if the mouth is open, you want it to be open to the inside. Once you get down to arms, there's lots of different ways to do this. This guy has a piece of clay. I made a disc for the hand. I cut the fingers. I added claws. These feet are great if you have a belly sticking out like he has. This is a slab of clay attached to the cylinder, scored, blended in. If you're going to have feet that are coming straight out of the cylinder like this, you need to make sure they're at least a ½ inch thick, if not thicker. Otherwise, when you set it down on a table, they are going to break. Here are some really great legs. Coming from the side, wrapping around the front. Wherever it is touching the cylinder, you're going to score it, press it on, blend it in. Same thing for the arms, like wrapping all the way up around his head. You will score that, press it on, blend it in at the base. He has sweat pouring off of his head. Little droplets formed, scored, and pressed on. You don't want to draw things on. You want to make them three-dimensional. Add those. It adds a lot more detail. He also has cheekbones. Piece of clay, scored, blended in. If you wanted to put a necklace on your guy, again, you wouldn't draw it on. You want to sculpt it, score that, press it on, make the medallion, and put that on there. You can add clothing items. This is a pinch pot hat, so you want to take a small piece of clay, hollow it out. If it's going to be a bigger hat, possibly you'll need to, if you're going to have an enclosed air pocket, cut a hole in the head. Either use a wire loop or the pencil tool to make a hole before you attach that. You don't want to make an enclosed air pocket. It could make a wizard's hat. You can make a baseball cap. You can add a brim. This is a ski hat. He has a scarf. These arms and legs are a little different, more slab-like. You can see his fingers are up in his mouth. He has his tongue sticking out. This was a piece of clay for the knee, and the feet are upright. You could certainly make those bigger. Features for the back. He has horns in the front, spikes coming down the back. A tail is a really good feature. You could make a tail that is really big, like a dragon or dinosaur's tail. It would have to be hollow, like a U shape, scored, pressed on, blended in, and you could make that curving around. This guy has a tail. Again, you would shape this. You wouldn't want a skinny tail coming out in space. That's something that's very likely to break. So you'd want to, wherever it's touching, score it, press it on, blend it in the back. Wings are a great feature for the back of your gargoyle. Have something interesting there. This guy has some wings, small ones. You could certainly make bigger wings. You would roll a slab of clay, cut out your wing, trace it, cut a second one, but then do something to it. Carve into it, make ribbing, or thin the edges like we did with the leaf before you attach it by scoring and blending it in. The more details you put on your gargoyle, the more interesting it is going to be. This one has lots of details. He has a mustache, a little hat, They made it look like he has a vest. He has a tail coming around from the back. The way they made this clothing item is they actually carved a line. They didn't really add clay, they just carved this so you had that sharp edge and then coming down. Laces on the shoes, a little briefcase. So take your time. You're going to have 3 days to work on these. The more detail, the better.